When I got divorced, it wasn't just that my family sided with my ex. Nah, they practically swapped me out for her. Like I got benched and she took my spot in the lineup. They invited her over for Thanksgiving and told me flat out, "You can come too. Just keep your mouth shut and don't pull one of your sad little stunts." I told them not to worry about it. I'd rather have dinner with a bunch of strangers than break bread with backstabbers. 5 days after that, I made one move that completely lit the fuse. My cousin ended up calling me in tears, begging me to help fix the mess. So yeah, I'm just gonna drop this here because honestly, I'm still ticked off. And I kinda wanna know if I'm crazy for thinking this whole thing is absolutely nuts. If you're not into family drama, feel free to scroll on. But if you've ever felt like your own people had you on mute while cheering for someone else, then yeah, you'll probably feel this. And no, I'm not using a throwaway account because I honestly don't care who sees it anymore. I'm tired of playing peacemaker. For some background, my divorce went through about a year and a half ago. Sucked? Sure, but it wasn't exactly a shock. Me and my ex, Daniela, we were together for nearly 6 years. Look, I'm not here to dump everything on her. I've got my flaws. I can be blunt. I'm not the kind of guy who wants to talk feelings all night long. And yeah, I probably lean a little too hard on sarcasm. Daniela, on the other hand, was all about being liked. She'd bend over backwards to play the good one in any situation. Turns out that combo doesn't exactly make for a solid marriage. But whatever, it ended. The real weirdness started afterward. Usually, after a breakup, things get awkward with family, sure. But most folks still remember who their actual blood is, right? Not mine. My mom, her name's Matthew, my cousin Donald, even my Aunt Margaret. They didn't just stay friendly with Daniela. They took her in like she was one of their own. And I don't mean the whole "we're being nice for the kids" thing. We didn't even have any kids. I'm talking about full-on family privileges, like I got demoted and she got promoted. First thing I noticed? The family group chat. It used to be just me, Mom, Donald, Margaret, and my sister, Amanda. Suddenly, there's Daniela, front and center, like she never left. One day, I open the chat and see photos from some goofy pottery night. Whose mug do I see first? Not Donald's. Not Margaret's. Daniela's. No one even bothered to ask if I wanted to go. Then it's like, Pumpkin Patch Day. And there's my cousin posting a selfie with Daniela, tagging her like she's the fun aunt now. Comments pouring in. My phone buzzes with every update. Not because anyone's talking to me, but because I still get the notifications. I tried brushing it off at first. Told myself maybe they were just being polite, maybe it felt weird for them too. But man, I started muting the chat after a while because seeing all that just made my blood boil. Then, about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, my mom calls me. And she's using that serious voice, the one she breaks out like someone's died. So I'm like, what's going on? And she launches into this speech about how things have been tense and how she doesn't want any drama at Thanksgiving. She actually says to me, "You can come, but only if you keep quiet and don't make one of your pathetic scenes." Like, are you kidding me? I hadn't even seen them since July. What scenes is she talking about? So I ask, why am I suddenly the problem? And she hits me with, well, you know how you get. You always have to argue. Daniela just wants peace. I laugh and go, wait, so Daniela's coming? And without missing a beat, she says, of course, she's family. She's been such a support to all of us. I'm like, support how exactly? And that's when Mom gets all defensive. Starts rambling about how Daniela's been helping her around the house, being there for her when she needed someone to talk to. Basically when she wanted to vent about me not calling enough. She actually says, Daniela listens. You never do. At that point, I'm done. I tell her I'd rather spend Thanksgiving with total strangers than sit at a table with traitors. She hangs up. Just hangs up on me. Not that it's a surprise. She's been doing that since I was a kid. It's her go-to move whenever she doesn't want to actually talk something through. I shoot a text to Donald like, are you serious with this? And all he sends back is, don't make it about you. Daniela's been through a lot. I'm like, what the hell did I miss? Did I die and no one told me? I try calling Amanda, my sister, because she's the only one who doesn't completely pretend I don't exist. She picks up, but she's already checked out. says she stays out of it. Tells me, Daniela's just easy to have around. She bakes. She helps out. Makes everyone feel comfortable. Then she adds, you know how mom is. You two always clash. She likes people who agree with her. You never did. Daniela does. I ask her, so you think I should just roll over? And Amanda just says, I don't know. Maybe just skip it this year. Let them have their piece. Awesome. Thanks, sis. So the next few days I'm just existing. Group chat keeps lighting up. Daniela's making pies. Daniela's helping Margaret in the garden. Daniela's teaching mom how to use her phone. It's not even that I'm mad at Daniela. She's just doing what she always does, winning people over by being sweet and helpful and making it easy for everyone to dump their problems on her. But my family? Different story. I think the real reason they all cling to her is because she doesn't challenge them. She never says when something's messed up. She'll sit through a 2-hour rant about how Donald's ex took his air fryer and then bake him banana bread. Meanwhile, I tell mom when she's out of line. I tell Donald to quit whining. I don't fake it when things are falling apart. So yeah, maybe I'm a little difficult. But at least I'm real. Thanksgiving rolls around and there I am in my apartment, scrolling through my phone, and what do I see? A snap from Margaret. So I get this snap from Margaret, table all dressed up for Thanksgiving, and right there in the middle? Daniela holding my mom's hand like she's the family matriarch. Everyone's beaming, plates full. And then, plain as day, I spot the chair where I always sit, empty. Not exactly subtle, right? It hit me hard. I'm out. Like officially out. I'm not part of the family anymore, not really. And you know what? Fine. If they want to replace me with Daniela, that's their call. But I'm not about to just lie down and take it. I'm not gonna sit around while they erase me like I never existed. I'm not the villain here, not in my own story. So I pull up my notes app and start a list. I start tracking every little thing Daniela's doing now that used to be my job, every time they lean on her for stuff they once came to me for, every time my mom lets her into something that used to be family-only territory. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. But keeping tabs feels like taking back a little control. It's something at least. I'm not gonna be the guy sitting home every holiday while my ex takes over my spot at the table. If they want her, they can have her. But they're not getting both of us. So yeah, that's where I'm at. No plan yet, just a lot of frustration and zero interest in playing nice anymore. If you've got advice, feel free to toss it out because I'm not letting my own family keep steamrolling me while pretending it's all in the name of peace. Honestly, things are probably gonna get messy from here, but I'm ready for it. After that Thanksgiving crap, how I started noticing stuff I guess I'd been too checked out to catch before. Like it hadn't fully clicked until I was sitting there alone, scrolling through old messages, realizing I'd been slowly scrubbed out of my own life and Daniela had been slid right into the role I used to play. And I'm not just talking about missing one holiday. I mean across the board. Once you're on the outside, you start catching all the small ways you've been replaced. Like these texts I'd get from Donald, he'd casually mention some family stuff, no big deal. But then I'd see his stories and there's Daniela, front and center, hanging out at my mom's like she lives there. Not visiting, hosting. She's got her own mug at my mom's now. A whole personalized coffee mug. Which is funny considering she didn't even drink coffee back when we were together. Then I see this video Donald posted, Daniela showing Margaret how to set up some streaming thing. Like she's tech support now. Aunt Margaret's got her saved on speed dial. It's all Daniela this, Daniela that, Daniela's so amazing, Daniela's a lifesaver. Meanwhile, I'm not even an afterthought. I asked Donald what was going on and he brushed it off like I was overreacting. Said it's not that deep. Daniela's just good with tech, you know mom's hopeless with remotes. Yeah, maybe, but funny how mom stopped calling me for help right after the divorce. I guess I lost my usefulness. Then there's the cabin. So my grandma left us this cabin upstate, it's split between me, Donald, and Amanda. For years I was the one keeping it running. I paid bills, arranged repairs, kept the pipes from freezing, all that. Not that anyone ever said thanks. But whatever. I hadn't checked the group chat for the cabin in a while, so I finally scrolled back through and surprise, it's wall-to-wall Daniela. She's planning the summer trip, getting quotes for repairs, talking about making it more welcoming. And when I look at the messages about who gets to use the place for July, no mention of me. No vote. Nothing. I text Donald, like, what's going on with the cabin? And he goes, relax, man. Daniela's just helping out. Everyone likes her ideas better. You're always too busy anyway. So I call Amanda, hoping she'll have my back, and she says, yeah, I told them you should be included, but Mom and Margaret said it's just easier with Daniela doing it. Then she hits me with the classic, you know how it is. Mom says you're hard to schedule with. Daniela just handles things. I tell her it's my name on the deed. I co-own the damn place. And she just sighs, I know. I'm just tired of arguing about it. She's not even defending me, just doesn't want to deal. So I start poking around, asking questions, trying to understand how the hell this happened. But no one really gives a straight answer. Margaret says Daniela's been such a blessing. You should be grateful she's keeping the family together. And my mom, man, she goes, if you'd come around more, maybe things would be different. I remind her she invited my ex to Thanksgiving and told me to keep my mouth shut, and she just pivots like always. You always have to make things about you. It's insane. I get it, though. Daniela makes things easy. She never pushes back, always has a pie in the oven, brings little gifts, acts like everyone's unpaid therapist. She pulled the same thing with my friends, made herself the go-to, the one everyone wanted around. I guess I just thought my own family would see through that. That they'd remember who I am. But I was wrong. They don't want real, they want simple. And Daniela's the queen of easy. Then the thing that really pushed me over the edge happened. So, for years, my mom leaned on me to help with her bills, setting up online payments, managing her accounts, that sort of stuff. Even after the divorce, I kept doing it out of habit more than anything. Then out of nowhere, she tells me, oh, Daniela's handling that now. I find out through Donald that Daniela has full access, passwords, and everything. She's managing my mom's finances like it's her job. So I ask my mom, are you seriously letting my ex handle your money? And she just says, Daniela's trustworthy. You're always so negative. She helps me feel more in control. I tell her that's a terrible idea. And she snaps back, if you're so concerned, come over and help. But only if you can be nice for once. Nope. I'm not playing that game. So now? I've started keeping receipts, literal ones and mental ones. Because I'm not gonna let them rewrite history while I sit on the sidelines. I've got the receipts, literally. Screenshots, notes, the whole deal. Every time Daniela makes a call about the cabin, every group chat where she's making plans with my family that no one even bothers looping me in on, every time she's stepping into roles I used to have. I'm keeping track of all of it. And look, I'm not even angry at Daniela for doing what she always does. That's just who she is. What gets me, what really burns, is that my family's letting her do it. They're just handing over the keys like it's no big deal. I never expected them to think I was perfect, but I sure didn't think they'd toss me aside just because I speak up when something's off. Daniela doesn't. That's her secret, she keeps it sweet, smiles through everything, and never disagrees. Then I get this DM from Margaret asking if I can sign off on some paperwork for the cabin. I'm like, what paperwork? She sends me this doc and says Daniela's setting up auto-pay for the utilities and they need my info. So I ask, since when is Daniela in charge of the bills? Margaret goes on the defense immediately, saying, well, she's the only one actually keeping up. You're always late, you never respond, you're too busy. Too busy? I tell her I've always paid my share every year, on time, and no one ever said a damn thing about it. But she just brushes me off. Daniela will handle it now. Just sign. I tell her flat out I'm not signing anything until I've had a proper look. Next thing I know, she's blowing up, accusing me of stirring up drama. I try to swing by to talk things out in person, and she literally slams the door in my face. Donald texts me later like it's my fault, just sign it, man. Stop making everything hard. And that's how it's been lately. Everywhere I turn, Daniela's filling a space I used to hold. Every group text, every event, even those dumb holiday emails, they're all going to her. Not me. I asked my mom if I could come by to talk about the cabin stuff, and she goes, only if you're not going to argue. Daniela's helping me with my taxes anyway. I didn't even respond. I just hung up. That was it for me. And I started really thinking about it. Maybe the reason my family treats me like this is because I never played the game. Even before Daniela came into the picture, I was always the one calling out the nonsense, not pretending like things were fine when they weren't. I've never been good at fake smiles and small talk just to keep the peace. But Daniela? She's a pro at that. She'll smile, nod, hand you fresh-baked cookies while you trash talk the person who actually did the heavy lifting. And apparently that's what my family wants, someone who makes life smooth and simple even if it's all built on pretending. So I'm sitting there watching this whole situation unfold and it hits me this isn't just about feelings anymore. If I don't step in soon, I'm gonna get pushed out completely. Not just emotionally, but financially, legally, everything. The cabin, the shared accounts, the decisions. They're setting things up so Daniela's calling all the shots. And I'm not letting that happen. Next time they try to get my signature, I'm showing up with everything I've got. Every document, every message, every damn receipt. I'm not signing a thing. I'm not fading quietly into the background so Daniela can be the saint and I'm just the difficult guy who disappeared. That story's not getting written. Not by them. Not without me. If they want to fight? Cool. They've got one now. So buckle up because I'm done being the one who keeps his mouth shut for the sake of keeping the peace. If my family wants Daniela so badly, they can have her, but they're not getting my share of anything. Not without a fight. I'm not backing down. You ever get that weird gut feeling that people are talking about you behind your back? Not paranoia, just that quiet shift in energy where things stop adding up and you start seeing all the gaps. That's been me lately. One day you're family and the next you're the weird ex-brother nobody hits up unless they need a Venmo for bills. It's not just about what they post, it's what they don't post that started tipping me off. Donald, for example, he sends me memes about being the forgotten son like he gets it. But then I see his stories and he's smiling in every group photo with Daniela right there. No mention of me. Margaret posts some Facebook thing about being thankful for new traditions and there's Daniela again holding a pie. My grandma's pie. The same recipe Margaret swore she'd never share with anyone. Guess that promise didn't mean much. That's when I stopped waiting for them to come around. I stopped hoping they'd treat me like family again if I just stayed quiet long enough. I went on offense. I texted the original family group chat, the one before Daniela got added, and said, we need to talk. About the cabin, the money, all of it. Amanda replies, I'll come if this isn't just another argument. Donald tries the whole, not my circus, routine, but I tell him, it is your circus. You're just pretending not to see the mess. Margaret stalls, says, Daniela can handle it. I shut that down quick, this conversation is for the people who actually own things. She leaves me on read. I tell them all, straight up, I'm bringing every document I've got. I want answers. I want transparency. I want respect. I want to know what their plan is for the cabin and the shared accounts, and I want it said in front of me, not behind my back. Meeting day rolls around. Amanda shows up first, clearly not thrilled, but she's there. Donald strolls in late, acting casual. Margaret looks like she'd rather be getting a root canal. I come in with a stack of printed emails, screenshots, and notes. No more playing dumb. I lay everything out. I say, look, Daniela doesn't own the cabin. She doesn't get a vote. She doesn't get to decide how money moves around. I show them the group chats where she's making plans without including me. The emails where she's coordinating utility changes. The screenshots where she's telling people I don't care about the family. I walk them through every time I paid my share. Every time I was excluded from a decision. And then I say it plain, if you want to change how things work, you'll need my signature. And I'm not signing anything until I'm treated like I actually matter. Like I'm not just some leftover piece of the past you want to forget. Margaret snaps, you're overreacting. Daniela's just helping because you're never around. I tell her, I'm not around because you treat me like a problem instead of a person. Donald tries to cool things down, says, nobody wants a fight. Daniela just makes things easier. I fire back, easier for who? For the people who want to pretend I don't exist. And then for once, Amanda actually takes my side. She says, yeah, this is starting to feel off. Why is Daniela running everything? Margaret throws out the classic line, because she cares. You just make things difficult. And just like that, the arguing starts. Voices rise. Nobody's backing down. Amanda slaps her hand down on the table hard and says, this is our family. Not Daniela's. This has gone way too far. Margaret pushes her chair back, gets up, and snaps, I'm not dealing with this, before storming out and slamming the door behind her. Donald stands up like he's about to bolt too. I step in front of him. Nope. You're not walking out, I tell him. He shoves me, says, don't grab me. I'm not your fixer. I look him dead in the eye and say, then stop acting like a kid. You want to be an adult? Handle your mess like one. It gets loud. Real messy. No filters left. I tell them straight, if you all keep letting Daniela handle money, I'm freezing the accounts until this gets sorted. I co-own the cabin. I've got rights. You think I'm bluffing? Try me. Donald laughs like I'm not serious. You wouldn't Kevin us like that, he says. I fire back, you already Kevin me. What's the difference? Then Amanda does something I didn't expect. She pulls out her phone and opens up another group chat. One I didn't even know existed. She scrolls through and shows everyone the messages. Daniela talking about how I'm too angry, how it's easier to just do things without me. The rest of them agreeing, laughing along. I had no clue they were having a whole conversation about cutting me out behind my back. Amanda says, I didn't want to get dragged into this, but this is out of control. I look at Donald, waiting for something, an apology, maybe even guilt. He just shrugs. It's easier this way, Kevin, he says. Easier for you, I snap. Not for me. Now everyone's shouting. Margaret comes stomping back in, says, if you want to make this difficult, I'll call Grandma's lawyer and get everything reviewed. Go for it, I tell her. I'll send every message, every doc. Let's see how it all shakes out. Amanda's trying to hold it together, says, can we just make a rule? Daniela doesn't get a vote. She's not on the deed. Donald finally turns to me and goes, fine. What do you want? I don't even hesitate. I want you all to stop acting like I'm dead and she's your new brother. This is my family too. I want my place back. It's tense, nobody's crying, but you can feel the heat in the room. Amanda's just trying to patch things up. Donald's looking for a way out. Margaret wants Daniela to stay in charge because it makes her life easier. Me? I just want my life back. I lay it down, final terms, if Daniela touches another account, signs my name, or makes one more decision tied to something that's legally mine, I'll lawyer up. You want to turn this into a legal fight? Let's go. I'm done being nice about it. Donald throws up his hands and says, fine. We'll do everything by the book. Amanda groans and says, I'm sick of all of you, and walks out, slamming the door on her way. Margaret just sits there, won't even look at me. So I say it, you all made this choice. You picked her over me. Now live with it. I grab my folder, stand up. Donald tries to block me again. I shove past him and walk out. Back home, I'm still mad, but underneath it, I feel calm for the first time in months. Because I know exactly what comes next. No more bluffing. It's go time. They want to mess around with money and ownership like it's some little game? I'll show them what happens when you try to play games with someone who actually reads the fine print. It's crazy how fast people turn on you once you stop being easy for them. Once you stop being the one who smooths things over. They want Daniela? Fine. Let them have her. But they're not taking what's mine. Not now. Not ever. That's when I flipped the switch. So, after that disaster of a family meeting, I waited 5 days. Figured someone might reach out, Amanda, maybe even Donald. I thought there'd be at least one guilt trip or fake apology to smooth it over. But nothing. Just more of the same. Group chats I'm not in. Daniela's name everywhere. Me? Radio silence. It was like they thought I'd give up and vanish. That I'd just drift away so they could keep playing house with my ex calling the shots. Yeah, no. Not how this ends. I started with the cabin. I pulled every single doc, deed, utility bills, Grandma's co-ownership agreement. I went line by line through old texts and emails. Every payment I made, every repair I handled, every decision I was a part of. I had it airtight. Thing is, you can't just ignore a co-owner. You can't vote someone out and hope they don't notice. That's not how property works. I called the management company and told them to freeze everything. No bookings, no repairs, nothing gets touched without my written okay. I made sure they emailed that to everyone with their name on the file. Then I sent out a family-wide email with a formal notice attached. No warning, no pleasantries. Just, if you want to use the cabin, you talk to me. Not through Daniela. Not through anyone else. Me. Also? No more helping with bills. All payments now go through the official cabin account, which I control. Period. Then I tackled the family finances. I went to the bank and pulled my name off any account Daniela had access to. I asked the branch manager to flag everything for unauthorized third-party changes. They said they'd need it in writing, so I dropped off the letter the same afternoon. Later, my mom texts me, all pissed off that her online banking wasn't working the way Daniela had set it up. I told her, maybe it's time you talk to your actual son instead of your ex-daughter-in-law. She hung up. I texted Amanda to explain what I'd done and why. Told her if she wanted her share of the cabin, she needed to deal with me directly. No more going through Margaret or Daniela. Amanda texted back, honestly? I get it. I'm tired of all this too. Donald called, tried to argue. Said I was punishing everyone just because they didn't take sides. I told him, you already did. I'm just making sure you can't pretend I don't exist when it's convenient. Then Margaret called, screaming. Wanted to know how I could do this to family. She pulled the whole, Grandma wouldn't have wanted this routine. I stayed calm. Told her I wasn't being spiteful, I was protecting what's legally mine. She slammed the phone down. Later that night, I see a Facebook post from her, some people never grow up. I actually laughed. Then, out of nowhere, Daniela calls me. First time in months. I let it ring. She texts instead, can we talk? This is hurting people. I don't respond. She sent another text after that. Said, I'm just trying to help. Why are you making this so hard? I didn't respond. I blocked her. And the fallout came fast. Within 2 days, Donald was messaging me, first angry, then just kind of desperate. Said the cabin trip was ruined. Mom was losing it. Margaret was pointing fingers in every direction. Daniela was crying. No one had a plan and everything was unraveling. He asked me, can you please just fix it? Everything's falling apart. I told him, I warned you. You made your choice. I'm not showing up to clean up the mess you helped make. I'm just making sure no one erases me from my own damn life. Then Amanda called. She asked, did you really freeze the accounts? I said, yeah, I did. And she paused for a second, then said, honestly, I'm relieved. It's been messed up for months. Nobody wanted to deal with Mom or Margaret, so they just let Daniela take over. I told her, if you want to do things the right way, come talk to me. We'll set up a system. One that doesn't involve random people running our family's property like it's their own. She said she would. And honestly, that's all I wanted. The next weekend, I went out for a run and passed by my mom's house. Her car was in the driveway. Daniela's wasn't. Margaret's car was gone too. I didn't stop. I didn't go in. I just kept running. Sometimes you gotta let people sit in the mess they made for themselves. I'm not gonna be the guy who keeps showing up to make it all okay. And yeah, maybe people reading this are thinking, damn man, that's cold. But honestly, if you let people treat you like you're disposable, they'll never stop. My family wanted everything to be easy. Well, now they're on hard mode. Daniela wanted to step in like she was my replacement? Cool. She just got replaced herself by silence. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't do anything illegal. I used the facts. I stood on the rights I already had. They tried to cut me out quietly. I just made it loud. They don't get my cabin. They don't get my accounts. And they sure as hell don't get my silence. So yeah, I burned the bridge. But let's be real, that thing was already in flames. All I did was make sure no one could walk back across it without facing me first. I don't know what the next holiday will look like. I don't really care. I've got my life back. And I'm not handing it over to people who treated me like I was nothing. If you're in the same kind of spot, don't just sit there and swallow it. Draw the line. In ink. In stone. Whatever it takes. Because once you make peace with being the villain in their story, you finally get to be the hero in your own. That's it. I'm done. Hope somebody out there needed to hear this.